Welcome, Diablo here, and this is Season 2, Episode number 3. And yes, as you can see in the background, the boys done the business in Season 1 of our Colchester United Road to Glory. We won the title at the first time of asking. We got promoted at the first time of asking. We're one step closer to the promised land of the Premier League, which is brilliant. Lahm was an absolutely sublime signing by Filippo Bonaperti. Bought the Finnish, so I was going to say Norwegian, the Finnish centre-back on a free transfer, and he was outrageously good alongside the mighty Frankie Kent. So, promotion. Robbie Cowlin, open the wallet, mate. Give us some dosh. 4.3 mil, 87 budget on the old wages. We can do some adjustments, but that gives us some scope to go out and make a marquee signing, or 10, or does it? But the first thing we're going to do is, of course, extend the contract of Gavin Massey. And then, Bell doesn't want to relocate? That's not what you said, lad. Very disappointed. And as you can see, we've just spent, or potentially just spent, 1.5 million on Boba Fett. Yes, Boba Fett. Ignore his first name, he's got Fett, therefore he is Boba Fett. We do spend a lot of money on his wages, so there's a lot of pressure on that young man, but I think he's well and truly worth the investment. We need a right back for sure, we need depth, so Barbosa, 21, from Switzerland. Some really good statistics, looks really good, and he'll do a fantastic job at a League 1 level. And then Ruben Barrett, out of nowhere. Paris Saint-Germain must have let him go. Some massive club must have let him go. This lad go because he looks phenomenal. Absolutely outrageously good at 17 years old. So we're going to snap him up. And at the same time, sorry Tommy D, but you're going to have to pack your bags and jog on to France. But we do get 730,000 from the board out of the 790,000 that the team from Mustard paid us. So the first game of the season, of course, is at home, because I seem to put a lot more home games in than away games, against Gillingham and Boba Fett, with the first strike of the season, the first meaningful chance in this season. But Gillingham would come back. Thompson turns, hits the post, out to Mackenzie, and it's deflected, and King George does a massive job by pulling off a huge save there. But it's not a good start to the season. We're gifting them possession, we've gifted them a gaping hole. It literally was like the parting of the Red Sea. There was so much space. He could have done a 360, a 720 and still had time to score. But when you need a man to step up, you must rely on Gabs, the talisman, into the box. Great shot, huge save from the Gillingham goalkeeper. And of course, Filippo looking dapper. A tie, a shirt, a jumper and a woolly hat because his luggos are a bit chilly. And I didn't really want to talk through that goal. Sloppy defending again. I know we weren't fantastic at defending last season, but it was just absolutely shambolic until FIFA 13 boots up and Gabs comes to life and pings one into the top bins to make it 2-1. And in the final moments of the game, Mitchell into Gilby, back after that 7-minute layout with his ACL. Oh, just fires it into the bottom corner. Absolutely fantastic. What we needed was to draw, not lose the opening game of the season. Definitely not lose that opening game. And we're going to make an investment in a left back. We need to bring in depth, as I said earlier. We've definitely got to bring in depth. These three lads have been recommended to me. We've watched them. We know how much roughly they're going to cost. We know they're good players. We know they've got a lot of potential. And the fantastic thing is they're young. But Guinness Walker is the one that sticks out. He's a little genius. With a name like Guinness, I'm sorry, I've got to buy him. I do like a good pint of Guinness. So Guinness Walker is going to be signed. 1.25 million. Robbie Cowlin must be having cold sweats spending out such massive money at the start of the season. But don't worry, we have picked up some free transfers, so he shouldn't be panicking too much. The season's not going well. 9 games in, 3 wins and 6 draws is really not acceptable. We can't turn, I don't know if it's a negative or a positive. We can't get a win. We are struggling to turn a winning situation and keep it into a winning situation. We draw. If we're losing, we seem to draw. It's just a frustrating period, but we have made a lot of changes to the team, so it's sort of understandable. We've just got to sort of play through it and hope for the best, but with shambolic defending like that, from the midfield gifting such huge space, and in the back four gifting huge space, we are going to get absolutely punished. As you can see, Cheltenham are all over us. If it's not for King George, it would literally be 2-0. But Mitchell into Barrett, and Barrett with the first goal of his career at Colchester United. This young man is deadly with his left foot. Has a 5-star weak foot as well, so he's good on either feet, which is astonishing that he was a free transfer. Absolutely beautiful. Guinness Walker into Mitchell, Mitchell into Kane, Vincent Young, who came out of literally nowhere, enjoying himself playing that little bit further forward, or being told to play further forward as the right wing back, even though we're playing a 4-1-2-1-2. He's literally loves getting forward. He's an absolute menace. And then King George, showing that he's got weak wrists this season, hasn't been doing his workouts clearly, and concedes a really poor goal. Gets a great set of hands to it, but just can't keep the ball out. Really frustrating. I mean, the shot is great, but he's got to be keeping it out. He's got 2 hands to it, 2 fairy hands, and the ball goes in. But Gabs, time, space, Mitchell, time, space, top corner, 3-2, 48 minutes. What a beautiful game football is. But the last moments of the game, Cheltenham break through, 1-on-1. I think he pulled the trigger way too early, but King George just slaps it away. And thankfully, we've turned a draw into a much needed victory at home again to Sheffield Wednesday. It is my guilty pleasure putting too many home games in. I don't know why I do it. I just love Layer Road. I think we all loved Layer Road when it was around. Unfortunately, it's not anymore. I have nothing against the community homes West Ham Stadium. I have nothing against the current home stadium, but I loved Layer Road as a child, so it had to be Layer Road. Anyway, digressing, we shouldn't do that. Sheffield Wednesday absolutely bombarded us. The better team by far in the opening minutes of the game, and a fantastic goal again. Some really shambolic defending. I'm not quite sure what's going on at the moment. The boys don't seem to be adjusting very well. I know we've brought in Barbosa and we've brought in Guinness Walker, but we're just not gelling. We're not looking the same unit as we did last season. We're mixing Barbosa obviously with Vincent Young, but we're not looking that great. But a nice ball from Boba Fett into Ruben Barrett, over the top. Gabs never gives up. Never ever gives up. Always will chase down. The goalkeeper makes a glaring error, and Gabs is there to nick it. Cuts inside, flicks into the bottom corner, and we're back into the game. A very, very lucky goal. But after 36 minutes, he pulls us level. Great piece of doggedness, and that's why, as you know, if you watched it, you will know why he's called Tevez version 2, because he is an absolute pain to play against, and that's why we love him as a talisman. Great ball by Sheffield Wednesday in behind us, and I've got to say, King George, what were you doing? Absolutely shambolic goalkeeping, as Chills with a huge chance after 81 minutes and puts it wide, which is just heartbreaking. And D'Angelo is the next free transfer we're going to buy. Why would I say buy? Offer a contract to. We're going to offer D'Angelo a contract. He looks phenomenal, 17, young. We're getting a lot of youth in, which is brilliant. Van der Vlag as well as a backup goalkeeper we need to bring in. And then Norman Bates. Yes, I know his name's Roman Bates, but Norman Bates, we need that little bit of psychoticness in the centre of the park. And then Barrera, we need that extra depth up front, to be fair. And then Battaglia, we need another Italian centre-back for sure. Depth, 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 depth. And then my personal favourite, and could turn out to be my dirty little secret, Almeida. He looks phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So much potential. And the one thing you will notice of all the transfers, all the free transfers, we have literally just swept the cream of the crop of all the young players. I think the oldest one there was 20 years old. The rest were 17 and 19, which is fantastic because these players are going to grow, develop, and push us on to hopefully the promised land. It could all go Pete Tong and we don't end up in the promised land. But who knows? Anyway, to finish the episode, we have an FA Cup tie against Arsenal, and I thought this would be a great way to see how we can judge ourselves if we're potentially Premier League class, even at this early stage. Gabs into Mitchell, fires the shot just over. That was so close. Great football, and you can see Mitchell is not happy with himself. He's grown into one hell of a player. The rate he is growing, he's literally going to be the greatest of all time, but I don't think that's possible when you bear in mind we have Filippo Bonaparti. What a career mode legend. Arsenal, you give them an inch, they will take a goal. It is that simple. Great football by Arsenal, punished us for a silly error. Great ball in, they finished, and they started to turn up the heat. Some great movement, some great fast passing, and a great finish from Ben Yedder. We just couldn't cope with them at that particular time. Into the second half, Odegaard with a shot, Saka picks the ball up, cuts back inside, and Odegaard punishes us again for some sloppy defending. But we are only a League One side. We're playing a 17-year-old centre-back who we've literally just signed in January transfer window. It's not looking good. Of course it's not looking good. We're 3-0 down. We're not going to win this game, but I think overall we done okay. A great ball by Barrera into Boba Fett, who has the pace and the strength to get into the Arsenal box and pings one into the top corner. Great finish by that young man, and I've got to say Boba Fett is absolutely fantastic. So just over the halfway stage, 31 games down, 14 wins, 15 draws and 2 losses. I'm as happy as I'm angry with the fact that we can't turn draws into wins, but it is what it is. Hopefully you'll join me in the conclusion in the next video.